Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which is called something along the lines of a diamond pull-out card or a diamond pop-up card or a diamond Z card. Choose what you would like. It's a beautiful card, and there is another card that looks very similar to this, but this one I think is better than the other design. Let me know what you think. Okay, so what happens with this is, by the way, this card is larger than normal. This is a 5x7 card, and if you compare that to a normal A4 size card, that's what you get. Okay, that's how much bigger it is, 7x5. All right, that one's 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. Anyway, what happens is you open up. Okay, isn't that absolutely superb? When you stand it on the on your shelf, it will look something like that. Okay, the other one that I've seen is where this piece is actually anchored directly onto here, which means when this opens, this moves over that side with it. It's quite a different look, so you may prefer the other one, but this is my favourite kind. So this is the one that I've done with I think it's called, the dies are called Brilliant Wings, butterfly something or other. I'm not sure I've got my stamp set here, and I certainly can't read it from here. And the other one that I did was using the daffodils, and if you want to know how I coloured the daffodils like that, so they blend in with what's in the designer series paper, that was on last week's video. Also last week's video show you how to put these together. If you want to see that but you don't want to watch the whole video, if you scoot through to about 45 minutes, and there's a demonstration at the end just to show you these. Okay, so absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to credit Iced Images for this card. That's where I saw it. I'm not sure whether she was the first one or not, but that's who gets my credit for this. So to start off with, let me tell you the card pieces you're going to be needing. I have done lots of bits to start off with, like adhering my layers together. The measurements I'm going to give are inches. Now, because it's a 7x5, this is suitable for letter size cardstock users as well, and I recommend that if you don't feel like making your own envelopes, 7x5 envelopes are really quite easy to buy from craft shops, which is what I do for my cards like this. So this piece of cardstock is 7 inches by 10 inches, and then a piece of basic white which measures 4 3/4 inches by 6 3/4 inches, and then 2 middle layers of basic white which measure 2 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. That's not right, that should be 6 3/4 inches. I know that even without looking. I will double check. Yes, it's 6 3/4. Okay, because it's got to be the same length as that one. So I'll say that again. For these 2 middle layers, you want 2 pieces, and they should be 2 1/4 inches by 6 3/4 inches. And then you need 1 large diamond piece, and I'm using Pale Papaya. Sorry, this is Pale Papaya here. No, it isn't. It's Petal Pink. Oh my goodness, not doing very well here, am I? This is Petal Pink Cardstock. This is Petal Pink Cardstock. And this measures 3 inches by 3 inches. And then you need 2 smaller triangles in Petal Pink, and these measure 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches. And then you need a piece for the support, which is for the floating diamond bit, and this measures 4 inches by 3 inches. That is a scrap for the sentiment. Now that is a layer for the sentiment, and that measures 1 1/4 inches by 2 5/8 inches. And then you need 2 pieces of Petal Pink which measure 1 1¼ inches by 1¾ inches. Now I'll show you why we'll be using those. It's another little tip for you. That's a post-it notepad. Right, also you will need designer series paper, and you need 2 designs for this. One design, this is design 1 that I refer to, and this is design 2 that I'm referring to. Okay, in fact it's from the same paper set as this, and this is the same as this design, just different colour, more or less the same. No, it's not exactly the same, is it? But it's very similar. And this is from the Friendly Hello Design Series paper, which is a celebration gift. Let me just double check that. Yes, Friendly Hello. So if you place a qualifying order until the 28th of February 2022, you'll be able to choose this Design Series paper as a gift. So that's what I've used on that one, and that's what I've used there. And this Designer Series paper is another set that's available as a celebration gift, and this is called Daffodil Afternoon. Okay. Right, so this design is 4 5/8 inches by 6 5/8 inches, and that I've adhered to my basic white piece, and that was design 1. Now this is design 1, and that is design 2. Don't know if you can see that design on there. Okay, it's subtle, but it's there. And these 2 pieces both need to be 2 1/8 inches by 6 5/8 inches. And on the large diamond piece, you need a piece of basic white cardstock, which measures 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and then a piece of design 2, which is 2 5/8 inches by 2 5/8 inches. Don't worry if you can't take all of these down, they will be in the box below the video. And then on here you need 2 pieces of basic white, which measure 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches, and then the DSP, Design Series paper, design 2, is 2 1/8 inches by 2 1/8 inches. Okay, so you got 2 of those. Nothing else needed for that. Right, so I think what we'll do is, first of all, we'll do our scoring. Oh, let me get my trimmer over. Now it looks like I've already scored the first piece. Right, so on the 7 inch by 10 inch piece of cardstock, on the 10 inches, first of all, you need to, hitting the tripod again, you need to score at 2 1/2 inches. Okay, as I say, I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again in case I get it in a slightly different position. And then again at 5 inches. Okay. I've done this one as well. Okay, so on this piece, which is your support block, you need to score it at 1 inch, 2 inches, and 3 inches. Okay, and don't think we'll need that again, but I may well have forgotten something. So if we take this piece first, and we are going to fold on the 5 inch score line. Make sure it lines up beautifully. And then we're going to fold this one back on the 2 1/2 inch piece and give that a good burnish. Okay, so this is where the Z fold comes in. Alright. In fact, that's exactly the same really as the previous, wasn't it? Because it would have been... Okay, so there's that piece. And then this one, we need to fold and burnish on all 3 creases, all going in the same direction. Again, just make sure that they all line up. One thing I meant to say, with the big piece, if you find that when you've done this, that piece comes over the top, you may want to slice that bit off. On this one, mine's actually falling a bit short in there, but I'm quite happy for that to be shorter. When they came over at the back, but I left it. I wasn't that unduly fussed about it. Okay, so next we are going to adhere these pieces on. Like all the fancy fold cards I video for you, they are all really quite easy. Really quite straightforward, I think. I can't think of any card that I've ever actually done where I thought, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. But no, I think it's quite straightforward. Right, so as always I'm going to be using Tombow. Tweezers. I'd be interested to know what you think about the larger sizes, the larger size card. Obviously it means that you don't get 2 cards out of one sheet of cardstock. I always used to do a 5x7 or a 6x6 before I joined Stampin' Up. It took me a little while to get used to doing the smaller cards, but now the smaller cards seem to be normal for me. So yeah, I'd be interested to know what you think about them. In fact, when you're putting these on, it's probably more sensible to put that one on first, so you can make sure you line up, and then it'll line up that one. And then you can line the last one up, rather than doing the 2 outside ones and hoping you've got them right when you put the middle one on. Okay, so that's that. Next I think we will put our diamonds on. So we're going to do our 2 little ones first. And when you put these on, what you will find is that they will overlap very, very slightly. If you put them on straight, that is. But that doesn't matter, partly because you're going to be putting a sentiment over here, and if I wasn't going to put a sentiment there, I would just put something there, maybe a bow or something, to disguise it if I felt that it needed to be covered. So what I do, I grab myself a pencil. Now I need to know where to put my glue, so it's going to be coming on this side. Okay, make sure that that's up the right way. I'm not sure it... Oh, I could have those going up and down, couldn't I? No, I don't think I want that. Okay, so I'm going to have these going across. Now the problem is, if you're using a directional pattern, you have to make sure that all your diamonds are going in the same way, and obviously it's going to be a different direction to this one. I did make a mistake on this one, and I got those lines correct, but that one was wrong. They were coming down, and by the time I'd got this far, because I didn't do it in the same order as I'm doing now, what I did was I cut another piece of designer series paper for that square, and I adhered it over the top. Fortunately, obviously I knew it before I put the daffodils on, so I just put an extra piece on top, which was the easy way of doing it, rather than trying to pull everything off and doing it that way. Right, I'm talking too much. Now, this is the side I'm going to be gluing, so just put across there. Right, while I'm doing this, let's do that one as well. So that's my cross. Now obviously I don't want my glue to go right to the very edge, so what I'm going to do is a little pencil mark just on the inside, and it's got to be on the right hand side of that point. Okay, so right hand side of that point as well, so it's coming over. Let's do this one. Just lining point and point up on the fold line there, and it's got to be on this side that I fall short with the glue. But do that and that. Now if you like, you could join those two marks up. No, oh yes, here we go. So just do a very faint line because it's not going to be removed. But it will just help you to make sure you don't get glue going where you don't want it to go. And also what I recommend is that you have a spare sheet of paper, just in case you put too much glue on your cardstock and you want to blot it. So I'm going to put that piece up there. You can see that, yep. Okay, so now I am going to put my glue on that pencil mark. One way or another, it's going to cover it up. But I do know that it's not going to be going over the edge. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I've not gone too heavy anywhere. I made my glue come over the edge there, I noticed that. Okay, now you may find it easier to do it like this, or you may find it easier to do it like this. Now I haven't done it this way before, so I'm going to try it now, just in case there's a disadvantage, and then I can let you know. So just make sure the 2 points join up with the fold line. Now on one of my other cards, when I did this, I moved it too much and I finished up glue round here, but that was okay because I was able to go over it with my adhesive remover. Okay, so there you go. Can't see my pencil line, and there's no glue coming over there, and I've not got any glue coming over there either. So that worked quite well to put my keep the card flat while I was doing it. So let's do this one again. Let's do this one next. I'm going to put my glue very carefully over my pencil line. Now, if it came out thick here, this is when I would blot it. Or if I thought it was going to leak anywhere by the time I adhered this on. But there's not too much glue there, that's not thick at all. Okay, so now this one, that point, chances are it's going to go over that. So first of all I'm going to put this one down to line up with the edge of the card. And put that one over there. Okay, so they're both going sideways. Push it down. There we go, we've got those two on. So far, so good. Now we are going to do this piece here. What did I do? Oh, they overlap slightly, don't they? I wonder why that is. Right, now as you can see, these two are overlapping very slightly. Now the way that I do this, it's not going to matter if that's a tad short. So I'm just going to shave a little bit off. Okay, really is just a little bit. Let me see if I can show you that. Where's my... There it is. Ooh, There we go. Okay, see how narrow that is. Now I'm going to do the same because that is coming over the edge. Now when you see how I put this on, you'll see why it doesn't really matter if these outside bits are a bit on the short side. Oops, that's so narrow, it went down there. Okay. This is going to be interesting actually. I've not tried this before. Now if this doesn't work out, instead of what I've just told you, I'd suggest you start again. But I think this will work. Logic tells me it's going to. So let's have a look. First of all, you need your ruler again. And this is 3 inches here. This is 7 inches. So we've got to mark 2 inches up, 2 inches down, so we know that that goes right in the middle. And you can put your pencil lines actually on your card because that's going to be covered up. But you might want to do it just a tad short. Okay, so that's 2 inches, a tad over 2 inches, and that's a tad short of 5 inches. So that when I put 3 inches on, it'll cover both bits up, rather than having them peeking out at the sides. Okay. Now I'm going to do one piece at a time here. And the reason I've developed this way of doing it is because on my first one I did one side and then I did the second side, but when I went to close my card it wouldn't close. So by doing it my way you'll be fine. And my way it won't matter that these outside pieces are a bit different. Okay, so this is another one where if I put too much glue on I would blot it, but I think my pot of Tombow is running a little bit on empty now, so I don't think it's going to give me grief. Now what I find is if I have this to put down and the line that I have there, I line it up so that it lines up with my fold there. It's got to just about come to that line, hopefully it's going to cover both of them up. Okay, so put that one down there onto the fold, that one down there onto the fold. Okay, you see what I mean? I know that my card is going to close down because I'm sticking this down already folded rather than having the card up at an angle or anything like that. Okay, so now that I've done that one, I think the mistake was I put my glue on like that and then closed my card. I think that's what happened on my one. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on this one. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is close that. I'm going to glue it down that way. So I know this is gluing with it right the way open. Therefore, when it closes, it must glue. Okay, that opens and closes absolutely spot on. Yeah, the gap that I had, once I'd cut those bits off, you can see if you take a little peek down there, but that's okay. The recipient of this card is going to be so blown away by this that they're not going to notice that at all. Right, now we're going to have the 3 inch by 3 inch, and we're going to make sure our pattern goes in the same direction. Now, if you just pop that on there like that, you're going to come over the edge, which we don't want. So what we're going to do is making sure we keep our pattern in the right way. Hold on, make sure I get this round the right way. Oops. Now that's the bit I want cut off. So if I turn it over so that the bit I want cut off comes over this way, and then I'm going to just pop that on there so that the diamond comes right to the edge. I'm just going to hold it there. It doesn't have to be in absolute spot right position here. This just needs to be straight here. Got a hair there. Hope it's gone. And again, your pencil, you just decide where you want your point to actually come. Let me show you where my two came on these. Oh, I'll line that up again in a moment. Okay, so on this one, I've come right to the very edge of the cardstock there. Okay, there's no overlap and it's not falling short. So just have a look, see what you think about the white edging there and the white edging down there. Do you think that that fits in nicely? If you think that's pleasing, that's the way to go. Oh, this one, the butterfly covers it up anyway. Oh, there we go, look, that one I actually did it so that it fell short. So, which do you prefer? But you can see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be cutting that bit off. I did actually think about putting some of the Designer Series paper on here, but I decided against it. It's something you may want to consider. Right, so let's get back to this. Go and be there, cut that one off. No, put it like that, cut that one off. That's it. Okay, so we're going to be like that. Right, so I did like it coming right to the edge. So I'm going to just draw a pencil mark so it lines up with the edge here, down here. And then I'm going to cut that off. So if I can get my ruler again. When you do this, you do need to make sure that you are actually straight. Okay, so I'm lining this up on my grid paper, straight and straight, and make it straight there as well. Therefore I know that that is straight. So I'm going to make sure that my ruler has got the same gap down here as it has up there. And then I know I can cut that like that. Okay? And I'm going to cut an absolute tad shorter. You could use a trimmer, just that I don't have any pencil mark left. Okay. Oh, I wonder if I've cut enough off there. Yeah, that's off. Oh, maybe not. Let's just cut another tad off. This one I'm not going to worry about. That looks more like it. I'm not going to measure that. There we go, that's much better. Okay. If you wanted to do it on your trimmer, let me just show you how I would do it. I would line these lines up as far as possible on the lines or equidistant between, but I would line my pencil mark up. It would be the other way, wouldn't it? I would have drawn my pencil mark there. So that one actually looks... Okay, so that's just inside that line, and then I would be able to just go cut it off. And that is very, very slightly not straight. Shh, don't tell anybody. Right, now I need to glue this on here. So what I'm going to do, again, my pencil, and I'm going to look from that score line on that diagonal line. I'm eyeballing that triangle and compare it with that triangle. Now I can see this one is much bigger, so I'm going to bring it down slightly. That, I think, is going to be perfect. So I'm going to draw a pencil line just inside that line and just inside that line. I'm going to join the two lines together. Again, let's make sure we've got this straight. There we go. My goodness, that's very crooked. I'm ignoring my pencil marks at the moment. Crikey, how did I get that so wrong? This grid paper, it's worth its weight in gold. It really is. Okay, so let's put some glue on here. In fact, I'm going to erase that pencil mark that's sticking way out far too far. The other one's going to be covered up anyway, so. Again, I'm going up to the pencil mark with my glue, but very, very fine. Okay, so that looks good. So now I am going to pop this on. I think that little bit of crookedness has caused that, hasn't it? I can't see it's crooked, but everything is pointing towards it being crooked. So let's see if that's better. That's it. Just making sure my triangles are the same, and that is straight down there. Then what should happen is, there we go, then you've got your triangle diamond, looks perfectly okay in there as well. Okay, so that's that. So next I'm going to do my sentiment, and I am going to be using a happy birthday to you, and that is from the Handsomely Suited stamp set, which is this one here, and there are some a set of matching dies which are called Suit and Tie, if you wanted to add that. It's not available as a bundle anymore. Right, now do I want to stamp that in Petal Pink? Let's have a look. I always hesitate about these lighter colours. Where's my scrap of white? There it is. bit light, isn't it? I don't really want to use black. Okay, I'm going to do my decorations first before I add that bit on. And the reason is because I'm using flowers and leaves, and I could possibly use the colour of the leaves, which is just not soft succulent. Okay, so what I'm decorating these with this time, I have die cut a lot of these from the pierced blooms. Now, you may remember this was a set of dies that I wasn't going to buy until I had a really beautiful thank you card from one of my customers. Did not buy the bloom stamp set, so no stamp set to go with it for me. But I have die cut those and those. I've done a selection of all the leaves, and oh, there's a little one there. Okay, so I'm going to bring my tray over to show you what I have done. Now, I did start building my flowers last night, although I've got one here that I kept not done so I could show you, and I started adding leaves, but I wasn't sure that that was a very good idea. So let me just show you what I've got here. Okay, so I've got a whole good selection. These are the flowers I'm going to be using. So I've got 3 there. Maybe 4 if I decide to use that one. But these are the leaves that I've got as well. Okay, so I've got those and these individual ones. These ones were actually stuck on, but I pulled them off again. I wasn't very sure whether I liked it or not. But then all these, oops, then all these other little bits as well. Now these, not sure if I'm going to use them, but this is a bow from the set as well. And what I've done with this was I die cut 2, and I've adhered the 2 together to make them a bit thicker, because obviously with thin die cuts like that, that was a bit, well, not very strong, shall we say. So to adhere these together, what I did was, first of all, with my bone folder, I just curled the petals upwards. Did these very slightly. Now before I stick that on, I want to show you what it looks like if you use one of those in the middle, just so that you know, if you have this die set or decide to get it, then you'll know what the options actually look like. But then I'm only showing you the white options, and there are obviously other options. And let me just do this bit first. Okay. So that's what it looks like if you put the flower in there, which I think looks nice. I do like that. You can see what it's like with the little round bit in the middle. And one that I've never tried is that one. So that looks quite nice if you fancied something without the stitch lines on it. Okay, so I'm going to stick with what I've done before. This one. And I will finish up putting some gems on these. Now the beauty of the flower that's going on the big diamond, that's going to be outside of these, so I can still put a gem on there. As you know, I don't like putting gems on the insides of cards. Okay, so that's that. Now to decorate, I thought that if I just put flowers on like that, that might be a bit too plain. Okay, I wish I could hear you, because you could be telling me what you think. Where's my scissors? Let's hold this down. There we go. But oh, there's a couple that I left the leaves on. Okay, there was that one, and there was that one. You see, I think just adding that little bit of colour gives it a bit of a splash, don't you? especially that one. I like that. It's got smaller leaves on it. How many small leaves have I got? Not many, because I think I only did 2 or 3 of each. Okay, so there's that one. Oh, it looks like I did 3 of each. Now what about the these ones here? What do these look like? Supposing I did that there. So you can't really see enough there, can you? I don't know, maybe that's okay. Got loads more here, so what would that look like if we did one there? That means that would come out over there, and I'm not sure it's strong enough to support it. I don't know, I think I quite like that. I prefer that to that. Okay, this is what I'm going for. Now you will see that this one needs to be on the outside edge there. Okay, with the daffodil, that's on the outside edge, and it's done so that when it's standing on your shelf you can see all 3. And this one, as you saw, come way over, but when it's on your shelf it's going to look something like that. Okay, these are loose on this one. That one's loose, but not that one down there. Okay, so right, I'm going to do the 2 side ones first rather than that one. So how shall I do it? Shall I put those on there first? I think that's probably the better idea. Then at least they stop moving around and what have you, make my life easier. So just, yes, I am in shot. Okay. Now that might have been a silly thing to do because that might come off the diamond. Not like that, it won't come off. Right, so I recommend that when you put glue on this one here, just put it on the very base, just in case you want to move it up higher. Okay. Got an itch on my nose. Okay, so I know that I got my glue just on that tiny bit there, so I can adhere it down. So you need to go up a bit. So what I'm going to do is, because I've got glue on that, I'm bending the top leaf round. Oh, there we go. Yep, that's fine. So let's put some glue all around here. I'm turning it like that so that the leaves can be seen through. The one beauty of these is it's quite easy to bend these because it's on such a thin stalk. If you wanted, you could move these up as well. Right, so let's see what position we want these in. I don't want them to be identical. Okay, so that one's going to be there. I'm going to move it up. Let's do that one first. Okay. Right, just trying to look, see where I'm planning to go. There's that one. I need to see this a bit sideways. I think that'll be okay. You stay there. Okay, so you're coming off the side there. You're coming off slightly, but you're not. Okay, right at there. That's coming off slightly, so don't put the glue right the way through. There we go. Right, so that one wasn't coming off, that was coming off slightly. What did I say about the diamond on that one? Was it south? I hope that's okay. As you know, I'm looking at this sideways, so I don't get such a good view as you do. But I do like this little splash of colour. The green that actually is in the design series paper is Granny Apple Green, which is the colour I was going to use at first, but then I decided against it. Right, let me hold this up, see what it looks like. Oh yes. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm happy. Right, now the flower's coming over to the edge. So I want something on the inside to make that look interesting. How many more have you got? There's that one, and that one. I got 4. Oh, yeah, 4 if I need to. I don't think so, that'll be overkill. There we go, that would look nice. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to actually curl this around so it's somehow like that. So let's do this one first. You see how easy that is to bend there? Now, would 3 be overkill? I don't know. Let's put this one up there next. I'm just going to do it straight up, and it's about 1/4 of an inch down from there. The point is almost level with the point of the diamond. Okay, point almost level with the diamond, and it's just going to come straight on down. Oh, I think you've got to come over a bit, that's no good. Oh, I see, yes. If I'm not very careful with this, I'm going to expose. I'm not going to cover up both of those. And I do want this towards the edge. Let's just cut that little bit off because I don't need that. You could cut all those little straight bits off if you wanted. So shall I put another one on? That's going to go like that. or have a second flower. No, I don't want a second flower. There we go. Right, so that leaf is touching there and that's nearly touching there. Right, okay, let's go with that. Do you go through the same agonies as I do? I mean, only a few leaves. And what did I decide? I think it was something like that, wasn't it? There we go. That's good. You could obviously put these up on dimensionals, but I'm not going to do that. Now I'm just turning my flower to try and cover up the stalks on the leaves. Okay. There we go. What do you think? Once I get the gems in the middle, that's going to be absolutely beautiful. I don't think I need a bow anywhere. I'll think about that later. If I do put it on, you'll see it on the photograph on my blog tomorrow morning. So there we go, that's that. Now I can do the sentiment in soft succulent. So that might be a bit better, mightn't it? Because it will extend the colour over. It will help to balance it a bit. Okay, let's give it a go. Now, let me just clean my stamp. That's good. This is something else that's really useful to have on your desk as well. It's one of our Simply Chamois. As you see, it gets dirty, but it stains, which is okay. It means as a stain, it won't come off onto the next stamps that you're working on. See, perfect. Let's just see how this comes up. Oh, that's better. Yes, I like that. B didn't come out too well, did it? Let's try that one again. Oh, that's better. Okay, now I need to bring my big shot up just to cut that out. And then apart from the gems, we are about done. Let's bring this over. And I'm going to use our stitched rectangle dies for this, and I am using the number 1 of the regular size, that one there. And when I say regular, that's like a regular size, they're the slim ones. And if you follow me regularly, you know I always start counting my dies from the smallest one. Smaller the die, smaller the number, because I just feel that's nice and easy to remember. That looks as if it's gone, oh, yeah, maybe it hasn't gone straight. Sideways it looks straight. I think that's straight. Anyway, it's a JanB straight, that's for sure. I'm still going to put this on the Petal Pink layer. I'm not going to change it over to soft succulent layer. Need to use some wax paper on that next time. that's what happens if you start having trouble getting dies out. And it's not just stitch dies either, it's any kind of dies. Next time, pop them through with some wax paper between the die and the cardstock, and you'll find it will make your stamps, your dies, a lot looser. Right, now the reason I've got these 2 extra bits here is because my sentiment is going to be coming over here. Oh, didn't think about that, did I? Have to see if I can lift those up. And it means that this bit here is 3 layers higher than down here because of the diamonds. So I'm going to pop those on there to make this end 3 higher, 2 higher rather, so that that is going to be nice and flat on there. There's not going to be going up. Does that make sense? I hope so. Let's just pop this on here first, and then we can see what happens. Okay, so there's that. Let's have my tweezers. And my gems, I can put some gems on here as well, which are, they're meant to be Calypso Coral, but they're very versatile and can be used with other colours. Right, now this is the end that I need to have raised up. Okay, so just put that there. Just put glue onto that one. Glue the 2 together. It's just like adding a dimensional that is the correct size. I mean, there is a layer of DSP there, but that's so thin that it's not going to make any difference. So that's going to go on there. Now this was a tip I picked up from, and I'm always forgetting this girl's first name. Her surname is Marcotte, and she does a lot of videos where she does a lot of cards all in one go, using up, the goal is to use a complete pack of designer series paper, although she's not a demo, so it's not actually our paper that she does, but she'll buy a pack of, say, 6x6 paper. Right, I'm going to pull this up. That's it. Oh yes, I like that. That's going to be good. Okay, so I'm going to just put glue on this raised bit. So the rest is just going to sit on my diamonds. And I haven't done anything about somewhere for writing your greeting or extra sentiments, but as usual what I would do is I would just put a sheet of something on the back. Personally, I would just write on the back, but if you would like to put something more fancy on there and decorate it, that would look lovely. Okay, so there's that. Put those down. There's a bit of glue there which I would like to remove. It's not totally dry yet, so it's a little bit manoeuvrable. Oh, that's got it. There we go. Okay, so it's that. And these are the gems I'm using. They're called Polished Dots, and there are 2 colours. There's Calypso Coral and Berry Vanilla. Okay, so either colour could be used, but I think I'm going for the Calypso Coral because I've got white in there. And I think that looks lovely. I don't think it looks Calypso Coral at all if you put it with Petal Pink. Put it with Petal Pink and it looks like Petal Pink. There we go. I think this may be my absolute favourite. Shall I do big ones or little ones? Oh, little ones are okay. There we go. And that is today's card. I have to say, I'm really pleased with this. Nope, that can go in the bag for another project. So there we go. That one we have pierced blooms, we have butterflies, and we have daffodils. I really hope you like it, and I really hope you give it a try too. It has been a great project. I've loved doing it, really loved it, and I really particularly like this. Really, can't believe it. Set of dies I wasn't going to buy. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. As I say, all the measurements will be in the box below, and the ingredients that I've used for this will be in the box below. I put the ingredients for this one on my blog on the same day that this video goes live, which will be the 30th of March 2022. I think that's tomorrow's date. If you would like to place an order with me, first of all, thank you very much for shopping with me. I appreciate it. That's assuming you don't already have your own Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you work with. But please use this code if you're shopping in January. There will be a new code from 1st of February, which will be on my blog. And when I send you Happy Mail at the beginning of February, I'll be able to send you some kind of free product as well from current catalogues. Okay, so many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe, happy crafting. Cheerio.